be called mostly in order they were signed in, first in Buffalo, then in Albany, and then in New York City. However, with the New York City office, items will not be called any earlier than 11 a.m. When your item is called, please approach the podium, say your name for the record, and representatives should also identify their clients who are present. They come up to the podium or the table. Chairman, do you have any announcements?
I do not.
All right. First thing we have is a request for summary suspension from counsel's office.
Hi, good morning, members. Counsel's office is seeking an emergency summary order suspension for licensee Anthony CARUSO LLC, doing business as MCTONYS Irish Pub, who is engaging in conduct that's adversely affecting the health, safety, and welfare of individuals near the licensed premises. During an operation last Friday night at approximately 10 p.m., SLA investigators made observations in an undisclosed manner and observed approximately 100 patrons who were very young-looking inside. About 1 hour later, members of the Portland PD, Department of Motor Vehicle, and SLA entered the premises and allowed everyone with a valid ID to leave. Only 10 out of 85 patrons left. There were 75 minors remaining inside the premises. This is despite the licensee's policy, which according to the manager is that patrons must be 21 years or older to enter. While making undisclosed observations, SLA investigators directly observed 8 minors purchasing alcohol from a bartender. Another 3 minors signed affidavits admitting to obtaining alcohol from the bar. In total, we have 11 statements from minors who admitted to obtaining and consuming alcohol inside the premises. 3 of the 11 were only 18 years old. 70 patrons were arrested, given tickets for possession of fictitious or fraudulent identifications. This is a licensee who is simply going through the motions of checking IDs at the door without making a good faith, reasonable effort to actually do so. The licensee was using unlicensed security guards to check the IDs, as all 4 admitted to being unlicensed. Despite the policy being 21 or older to enter, several of the minors showed their real IDs at the door. Another used a completely different person's identification to enter, and at least one was not required to show any ID at all. 90% of the patrons inside, literally 70 of them, showed ID at the door to a security guard and were still able to get inside. 70 people showed their ID at the door and got inside. Clearly, security was not making a good faith effort to check these IDs, but was just going through the motions. Furthermore, the bartenders were not checking IDs at the bar before serving alcoholic beverages to these minors. Enforcement stated that after the licensee's restaurant closes, the party begins downstairs in the basement, which has an additional bar license. That way the college kids can party in the basement without messing up the restaurant. This licensee is clearly in the business of catering and serving minors, considering they created a separate area for them, and that nearly every patron inside during the operation was under 21. I'd also like to note that Mr. CARUSO submitted a letter stating that he voluntarily closed CARUSO's basement until this issue is resolved, and he placed the ad bar license in safekeeping. Mr. CARUSO knows he's in big trouble and is attempting to mitigate what we're going to do and distinguish the ad bar license. So, despite being caught severely abusing his privileges by catering to minors, Mr. CARUSO's letter is insinuating that since he only serves the minors in the basement using the ad bar license, there's not a risk in continuing to operate under the main license. However, this is one license with one principal who's shown a clear disregard for one of the most fundamental principles of the ABC law: do not sell to minors. It's dangerous and illegal for minors to purchase and consume alcohol. Allowing this licensee to continue operation of this establishment in any capacity negatively affects the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the area of the licensed premises. In consideration of them, immediate action in the form of an emergency order of summary suspension is required.
When were they licensed?
When?
When, yes.
August 12, 2005.
Any other priors?
They don't have any adverse history in the last 5 years, but they do have prior adverse history.
What are the restrictions on the license? Then?
I'd have to look into that.
It's a 4 AM license?
There were no stipulations or conditions put on by the board.
Okay. And you said no priors, like nothing?
No, just not in the last 5 years.
Not in the
There is
last
others, yes.
You mentioned a letter from the owner. Who got that? The counsel's office?
It was sent to enforcement,
So we don't have it in our package.
not yet. We just received it yesterday.
I'm assuming this is, maybe wrongly assuming it's near SUNY Cortland.
I'm sorry.
Is this bar near SUNY Cortland?
Yeah, it's on Main Street with others.
Exactly. Apparently they have a restaurant upstairs and they close the restaurant down. And he wants to stay open if he just gives his alcohol license up.
No, he's got bigger problems than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Fan,
Based on evidence presented by counsel, there's imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I'm voting to suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford,
Based on evidence presented by counsel, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Based on evidence presented, I'm voting to summarily suspend. It's clear the licensee is a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare, particularly of underage people.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move on to Buffalo. The first item in Buffalo is agenda number 2790, RUFUS by the COPRI LLC.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Adam Connors, appearing as legal counsel for RUFUS by the COPRI LLC. With me today are Gregory Johnson, who's a member of the LLC, as well as Justin Giuliano, consultant who helped prepare the application. My understanding that we're here on the refiled application for the premises at 250 East Main Street, which is the Sibley building in Rochester, New York. It's a mixed-use building with professional offices, residential. There's even a police precinct located within the building. The building itself has its own 24/7 security. The applicant is proposing to operate a bar within a food court style setup. I know there's been a previous application. This one has been reduced from substantially in size, from over 300, 175 person occupancy. The food in the premises will be provided by independent concessionaires, each with its own fully, I guess what would be considered a kitchen with sinks and hoods. There are licensee agreements with each of these concessionaires. I know previously there was some question about the payment of the rent going to the landlord from those concessionaires. That is 15%. I know, and some of the confusion might arise from the fact that they're referred to the licensees within the lease agreement, but those are the concessionaires that are paying 15% of their food sales only. They're not selling any alcohol. And the tenant itself, the bar, would be only paying a base rent at a flat rate. I don't know if there are any other questions, because I know this has been before the board a number of times, and I don't want to rehash everything. So if there's anything in particular the board wants me to address, I'm happy to.
So last time the applicant applied as a restaurant and wanted to do all the food through concessionaires like your setup is now, which is not allowed, which is why it was denied. That was the main reason it was denied. Now you're applying as a tavern, which we do allow concessionaires for, to supply the food. However, statutorily, a tavern is not permitted to have interior access to another building or to the building. And right now, that looks to me like it's the only access you have. And that's not a policy decision on our part, that's in statute. So I don't know, Adam, do you want to clarify this? I don't know what.
I mean, I recommended to the board that this is not licensable legally under the statute of ABC law. And the fact that an application was submitted this way, it's an excuse, it's a waste of time and money.
And I'm assuming you didn't know that, but my concern is, I don't, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I agree with that law or don't agree with it, but that is what it is. And
6 years.
I don't know where we go from here, to be honest with you, because obviously your client is licensable, the business model is allowable, but it's not allowable in this space.
Yeah, so I'm gonna recommend.
Well, there is exterior access there. The main entrance is from
There's two street accesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't have any interior access. It doesn't matter that you have exterior access.
So based on the description of your premises that you proposed, how does it, section 106.9 of the ABC law not come to play here? I'm curious to know your response.
And you're talking about the bathroom situation then, right? That there's the
ABC
bathroom.
law section 106.9 says that on-premise liquor establishment cannot have interior access to any part of a building that is not a restaurant, used in a hotel, owned by a municipality, or a restaurant itself. So, to my understanding, based on the application submitted, that is the only way you can access that building, and to your point about the bathrooms, you need to access other portions of the building from the interior in order to access those bathrooms. So as applied for, this license application is not licensable.
Okay. Well, there are plenty of other access to the building for the other tenants, et cetera. We're talking.
It's not licensed.
That's what we're talking about. It's not that you don't have exterior access, it's that you're not allowed any interior access. Now, the way around this is to get a restaurant wine or a tavern wine?
I mean, so basically your method of operation doesn't fit into this building within the scope of the ABC law. So there are certainly ways to do this method of operation, but this isn't it.
Okay. All righty. Well, I mean, I may just have a second to talk with my client real quick.
Sure. Hey, can you carve this out? Can you carve this out?
There are other solutions.
So I might just tell them to call you.
Operating right now.
All right. Well, I would note that, my client has been operating under temporary for several months without incident. But we would certainly want to comply with what would be considered a valid application. Was there an offer to discuss this directly with somebody at the board there?
I mean, we have to deny this, I think. And yeah, you can certainly call counsel's office, because there are ways to do this legally. It might not be a full on-premise license. It might be something less than that, or perhaps he can figure a legal way around it. But as Adam pointed out, as it's applied for, it's illegal.
Okay. No.
So why don't you give our lawyer a call, give Gary Meyerhoff a call, and
That's me.
Okay.
but this one has to be denied.
Okay. The question for the time being is the tenant allowed, or my client allowed to keep operating under the temporary at this time?
No, the temporary permits associated with the main application just got denied.
No, it hasn't been denied. We have to vote on it, but I mean, they may, I'm just telling you what I'm doing.
And then how long do they have before they get the letter?
I'm going to disapprove tomorrow.
All right.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
Commissioner Van,
I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I have to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to deny.
All right, so that's all I have for Buffalo.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, is anyone else there, or?
There is no one else here.
All right, so just keep it open for 30 minutes, just in case.
Thank you.
So we're moving on to the items in Buffalo.
No,
Or Albany. So that first item is 2841A.
Good morning, members. Good morning, Chairman Bradley. Good morning, Commissioner Ford. Good morning, Sam, senior staff. My name is Maston Sansom. I'm the attorney for the applicant, LARK Productions, LLC. I'm joined here by Jennifer and Justin Miller. They are the applicant principals, owners of the establishment. The application before you is for an event venue located at 351 Hudson Ave, Albany, New York. This is a venue space where there has been a very significant amount of renovation to an older building, and a lot of community support and involvement has gone into this. They've been working for a number of years, I believe since 2017, with the community to generate support for their method of operation, which again is intended to be an event venue, and host some smaller live performances. There's a maximum capacity of 300. They'd like to serve alcohol during the booked events. Their hours of operation, or at least proposed, are and agreed to. I do want to point that out. Agreed to with the community.
When you say community, who are you talking about? The mayor's office?
Community organizations like the Center Square Association, let me see here, Hudson Park, Hudson Park neighborhood.
So they're not representing the municipality. We're not talking about the municipality. We're talking about neighborhood groups.
It's part of, they go through the city's cabaret license process, which went through the mayor's office.
But are they appointed by the mayor, the members of the committees? Or anybody, any governmental agency?
LARK Street bid.
The
There's the Lark Street business
Is this who gets the municipal notice?
City Hall is this
All right, so these associations aren't. Okay.
The relationship between the city and the municipality Hall is the one that gets the notice.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
They did issue a cabaret license, the city that is. Also, Assembly Member Fahey and Senator Breslin also issued a letter of support, which was recently submitted and included with the application. They have a very robust security plan. They have already hired, because they have already conducted a number of hosted a number of performances, over 50 thus far, public and private events, meetings, gatherings, without incident or issue. Attendance at those events range from 20 to ultimately up to the building capacity. And again, everything went as planned. There have been, so back to the security, they are using security that is also used at other event venues, and we've learned that by attending events at those spaces and seeing that they are also employed there as well. There are 16 cameras. The applicant has very strong COVID-19 safety precautions requiring proof of vaccination or a negative test within 48 hours of attending an event. All bartenders will be ATEP trained, and anyone seeking to purchase alcohol will be required to produce ID. Soundproofing, there were, as part of the renovation, there have been various soundproofing measures incorporated into the building to lessen any effect on any sound seeping outside. They have also had discussions, and some are continuing, regarding vehicle and traffic issues. They included on their website and other social media accounts, they're encouraging various ways on how to.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there's a couple problems I have with this, but that's the biggest one.
Okay.
Because obviously I'm familiar with the neighborhood. It's a block away. And I saw one of the articles you're saying, you're telling us it's 300. One of the newspaper articles indicates that at some point it's going to be a 450. Let's be conservative and say that 150 of those people, if you max out at one point, are driving. I know now that I can't find a spot to park on Lark Street. Now, during the day. where are 150 cars going? Because that you're telling me, that the only thing you guys gave me was that you're encouraging bicycles, public transportation, and parking in a church parking lot that's already being used.
There are also other garages, I know that the.
But you don't have access to them yet. You're saying you're in talks.
The Washington Ave parking lot is another lot that's available to us.
How far away is that?
It's right on Washington Street, next, right across from the Armory. And they actually extended their hours just to fit our hours.
Well, what you indicated you're having talks with the state to get in their parking lots, or the city. Are they ongoing, or has that happened?
Yeah, we're working with Matt Peters.
So it hasn't, they haven't granted the access yet?
No, but we've had an event with there's about 230 people there. There was no issues with parking that night.
You're right there in the corner, is that correct?
And you're saying it's never going to be a 450 to capacity?
Correct. The cabaret license is limited, if I'm not mistaken, to 300.
That's generally, that number is born out of our capacity issued by the city codes department.
Well, that's generally what we go with, so.
Right, and to get to 450, that's aspirational. We need to go through another phase of renovation and put sprinklers throughout the building that under code will allow that code analysis to go from 300 to 450, but we want to get the project going and get it stabilized and working before we go for that additional investment, which would be 2023 or 4 at this point, given the investment that's required.
And would require an okay from the city via an update to the cabaret license.
Yeah, we have to go back.
And it says it's a 5-story building, is that correct? Is that what I read?
When you account for every single level, yes, including the basement, which is, it's a very old building.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't look like a 5-story building.
It doesn't, no,
It's kind of hidden a little bit. It has a basement, a main floor that you see the retail level.
Yeah.
And then the venue itself is the second floor, which has a mezzanine level, so it's kind of 2 levels and the main floor, and then there's an attic and a dressing room on the top floor.
And so the other issue I had, which I don't know if it's a big one or not, is I don't understand the yoga. That's the separate business, which you aren't permitted to do, as you're fully aware,
yes.
in a licensed premise like this. So,
We've addressed that and terminated the yoga lease to the building.
but it's still, the application indicates they're still going to have yoga. Is that not true? You're not having it?
So the original intent was to have some sort of, other event venues we are aware, whether it's right or not, I don't know. But they'll still allow even yoga services. They'll rent space, or I don't know what the exact agreement. Someone will come in and in maybe the dance studio or what have you, be able to conduct some yoga. So we had originally had a license agreement with the application that would allow that to happen. Licensing advised that was not going to work. So we have proposed more of a higher type of a method, which is, we like to think that similar to almost someone karaoke, hiring someone on a limited occasion to provide a service on the premises.
Yeah, but when they have a karaoke, anybody can come in. It's open to the public, and they're serving alcohol. You're going to serve alcohol at your yoga classes?
Not intended, but one of the applicant principals, Ms. Miller here, will be there at all times, so anyone can purchase, they most likely water or juice or something of that nature. But that will be available.
That sounds like you're doing the same thing you were doing before.
No, we moved the yoga business out of the building.
Well, I mean, you moved the business out, but you're still doing the yoga. How often are we planning to do this?
As of right now, I have limited classes because we're still.
What's limited?
A couple classes a day.
That's not limited. 7 days a week?
Yes, well, because I'm, prior to this, I was a business.
See, and this isn't, like, once again, you guys were here for the last application. I don't make these rules, unfortunately, and if I could, go ahead and have yoga and tap dancing, I could care less. But it's pretty cut and dry about second businesses in these types of establishments. It's in statute, correct? Am I wrong with that?
Can I share that I'm ready to just close it because we put all this money into this.
No, I get that.
Yeah, we're prepared to make a pivot at this point. It's not ideal. Jen put a lot of goodwill and has a brand that we're willing to put aside. This is the priority.
You can't separate the yoga part out and just not license it?
Have it be a separate part of the premises?
We looked at that. The building is historic, and there's certain things you can do and you can't do for historic purposes. We can't chop up the.
Probably make a certain floor, like maybe make the attic for yoga.
Well, then that's interior access. You can't do that. No, you can't do that either.
There's common
Forget that.
lobbies
Forget I
and
said that.
access.
I mean, and like I said, the laws don't always make sense, and Maston will be the first one to tell you that.
When we were going through this process, the representative and I worked through different scenarios on things that were possible and things that were not. And I think they're fully aware of things that are possible and things that are not. So I think if they choose to go another route, then they have their options.
Okay.
The route was we terminated our yoga lease and, we're not gonna, the plan is this is our main focus, is the event space. We have people coming in to rent the event space to do ecstatic dancing, things like that. So this would be, in a sense, no different, me bringing in 2 classes a month.
Well, you said a day.
No, but that was my, so we typically, all summer long, from the spring till October, we have all our classes in the park. So just recently, we have, some of those classes are virtual, some of those day classes are virtual. They don't, they're not people coming in the building.
The business will survive, and I think COVID, be it what it is, proved that she can do virtual classes. People are willing to do that or go meet in a park remotely. So the building itself isn't necessarily critical for that brand to continue. We don't have to shut down the business with a hard stop, but for purposes of licensure and the licensed premises, we're willing to make the adjustment immediately so there isn't a concern under the ABC law that there's 2 businesses in the same premises. Staff has been super helpful and super patient with a unique application and a unique building, so we're here to make that hard correction need to access the licensure.
What other kind of businesses have been at this location? It hasn't never been licensed before for alcohol.
That's correct. The quick summary is in 1916 it was built as like a Masonic hall. It was a women's auxiliary and existed until 1977 as that, with some first floor retail. There was pharmacies and antique stores, and there was a radio TV hospital that would still have old TVs somewhere in the basement. But from 77 on, it was owned by a not-for-profit, primarily a dance studio and modern dance and yoga and all kinds of plays and productions, because it had this large theater space. They did have, over time, concerts, events, and things where I think they brought in the caterers and outside vendors to supply alcohol from time to time, but as a not-for-profit, they never pursued full licensure. Some of those issues were centered around the building's then lack of any ADA access and enough bathrooms and things like that. And that's kind of, we came in and said, well, geez, we'll make those investments and build the space up so it can,
So do any of the concerts, shows, events there attract 300 people?
Pardon me?
Would you say any of those past events, concerts, shows, performances, whatever, attracted 300 people, even 250 people, something? I mean,
At the time, without the ADA access, I think their maximum capacity before we bought the building was 200, and our investment got to 300, and that's we're comfortable with that. The absorption that we've seen in the community, to speak to the chairman's concerns and about parking, we haven't seen the problem. People are able to access Washington Park. We have 2 parking lots nearby that are free. It's really not a lot of absorption and concern, certainly expressed by the community organizations. We spent 4 years working with them, talking about, they're the people that know better. They don't want the people sitting behind them with their flashers on, waiting for them to leave their house in the morning, that kind of stuff. Or in the evening, we worked very hard to make sure that their concerns were addressed before we even got to this.
So the max occupancy, that's from the city of Albany?
That's
It's
correct,
official?
yeah, that's right. Our certificate of occupancy is a 300 maximum capacity in the main room. And that traveled through the cabaret license process where it went through the city, the mayor's office, the city clerk's office, the port council's office, planning office. They all visited the cabaret license. And
Okay.
our proposed hours of operations in your application match those. We worked with the community to say, hi, we have this venue, we don't want to announce anything or put out a business plan until we've talked with you. They all kind of gave us feedback, and we, although Albany's a 4 a.m. town, we're like, there may be only 3 nights a week, or 2 a.m. would be the maximum that we would want people in the building. Most of the time, 11 p.m., Sunday through Wednesday. We really want this to be more of a cafe lean, a quiet listening room that occasionally has weddings, private events, fundraisers. It's ho-hum, I think, would be our objective more than anything. That is more of a what you would consider a live entertainment or bustling venue. This is just something where we want to activate the space and make it an asset to the community without impacts.
What is the building across the street that looks like it used to be a school?
Rain, I believe, is a Chinese restaurant directly across Lark Street to the west.
Yeah, it was Planned Parenthood.
It was Planned Parenthood.
It's on the corner of Hudson and Lark.
Correct.
You indicate that you want to have live DJ and karaoke music. Is that part of the quiet listening environment that you're doing?
Well, on occasion, there will be events where we're not looking to do a QE2 or, I'm just using local examples, but we have old wood floors, and I think our programming is going to be more of a demographic that's adult, that's really central to the business plan. We may have an event one evening that is a live concert, but the next day is a wedding. The space is going to be programmed to kind of cater to a demographic and an audience that is comfortable there. It's an old historic building, and we've been super careful about when you walk in now, it still feels a little bit like 1916.
Ready to vote?
I think so.
Commissioner Pan?
While there are issues, I think that it's a respected endeavor to try to put this together in this town, and so I'm going to support you. I'm going to let Chairman put the conditions on it.
That's nice of you.
Commissioner, what do people see look like?
The ALJ is not completely satisfied that you've met the burden. But after talking with you and everything, I think you guys have put your heart and soul into this. And when people generally do that, it's my feeling that they have the intention of running the business correctly and respectful of their neighbors, because you have people living close by. So I'm going to vote to approve as well.
Chairman Brown?
Who, Mr. Sanson, could you just tell us for the record who the electeds are that are supporting this?
That is Assembly Member Fahey, Senator Breslin, as well as Albany County Legislator Matthew Peter.
So I don't think the parking here is adequate at all. I'm going on the record to say that. Even with 200 people, I don't think there's parking there. But because I generally let the electeds decide what's good for their community, and when these complaints come in, I'm sending these letters directly to all 3 of these electeds, because I think that they're not doing that neighborhood a service at this point, because if you get 300 people in that building and 200 have to drive in the middle of February, there's nowhere to put those cars. But that being said, they believe there is. So I'm going to vote to approve as well. There's not going to be any lines outside for any event. You're to have security outside for any promoted event, at least, and I know you put in there it's going to be 2 on at all times, and then 1 per every 50, is it 50 patrons? So they're to at least have 1 or 2 security guards outside for every event to make sure that there's not waiting Ubers or Lyfts. And What were the hours they wanted, 2 AM?
It was 11 to 11 weekdays, 11 to 2, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
So that's, I'm fine with that. Good luck. And I wouldn't do the yoga. I mean, you know, if you're gonna have intermittent classes, I don't think anybody's gonna complain about it, but if you're gonna have full-blown twice a day, that's gonna become a problem for you.
And Commissioner Fannin for the yellow, the
Absolutely.
Yes,
conditions.
Yes, sir.
good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, Chairman.
All right, so that's.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Put it on pause. Does that matter? All right, so we're going to take a recess, a brief recess until 11 a.m. We'll continue the calendar in New York City. Alright, so we're back from recess, back on the record. We're gonna move on to the items in New York City. The first one is 2785, PALIGAN course. It's a removal, package store removal application.
27.
Good morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Span, Freely, Council Meyerhoff, Roberts, Council Meyerhoff, and Secretary Donahue and Mr. Wilbur. I'm Adrian.
1 second, I'm sorry. Jonathan, is there opposition or anyone on for this in New York City?
The number
What's the name? It's 2785.
PALIGAN
Corp.
No, there's no opposition.
I thought someone signed in for it.
Hold on. Well, if they were, they're not here now. So can you just put your names on the record again?
Yes. I'm Adrian Hunt from Hunt Logan PC on behalf of the applicant for removal, PALIGAN Corp. DBA, Peekskill Wine and Liquors, and I also have with me Mr. Pankaj Bob, principal of the PALIGAN Corp. We're here because we're here for removal from 2008 Hong Kong Road, Portland, Manor, New York, to 2141 Hong Kong Road, Portland, Manor, New York. Reason being that the landlord has declined to extend the tenancy at the 2008 Hong Kong Road location.
Why? Did he tell you why, or?
There are only two businesses, and he, 3-4 years ago, had acquired the building, and he wanted to expand his business.
Oh, what's his business?
Deli, Italian deli.
Okay, go ahead.
And we're here to answer your questions.
So you're moving about 0.6 miles away, is that correct?
Yes, 0.4.
0.4?
Same road.
Same road, and from 1,000 square feet to 1,200 square feet in a small shopping plaza.
Are you in a small shopping plaza now or standalone?
It's a very small shopping plaza.
There's two entities.
It's a small plaza.
Yes.
So, did we ever find out anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna request that we actually hold this over until the next board meeting, because nobody had submitted gross sales letters. I believe we failed to send one to the applicant with his numbers for the current year. That we were going to ask to do that to confirm that the 4 closest stores actually received the letters, because none of them responded.
We got nothing from any of the 4 closest.
Any of them, which leads us to believe that possibly they either didn't receive them, so that we confirm that.
I believe that they were all approached by Mr. Pankaj to see whether they had any opposition, and the answer was no. And we received just on the 25th of October, we received the request for the revenues, and we submitted that.
Yeah.
On the 5th you got it?
25th of October.
Oh, so we sent
We
it?
just sent it out.
Okay.
And we returned the same day.
I mean, the reason we need the sales is because we still have to rule on public convenience and advantage, and without the sales numbers, it's not that we would do this. If one person didn't respond, it's not that big a deal, but we got a response from, none of them responded, which is a problem. I don't know whether they didn't receive it or they just failed to respond, which is a bigger problem. So I would, like, when is your lease up?
Right now, he's giving me month to month. I'm paying rent at both places right now, sir.
All right, there's no protest. I'm going to vote on this then.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I vote to approve as well.
Chairman
I'm going to vote to approve as well.
I'll see
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
And just for the record, there was no protest here, and we also got no written protests.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good luck.
So the next item is 2828, COPRI, COPRI Corp. COPRI.
28.
Okay.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning,
Morning.
Bob Romano. I'm here on behalf of the COPRI Corp. We had gone before you. I'd gone before you 2 weeks previous. This is regarding grandfathering in a 200-foot
Guys,
rule.
don't do this. We're good. All right, Mr. Romano, just to save time, I'm going to stop you. I think we're all good with the affidavit.
What are your hours?
Oh, I'd have to check with the client who, I don't know. It's a restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant. They don't have late hours. Anything.
Well, what hours do you want?
I guess midnight, 7 days.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna vote to approve, recorded music only, no security guard, manager as needed, no private events, no promoters, midnight across the board.
That's fine.
Commissioner Ford.
Thank
I'll
you.
approve under the same terms.
As will I,
Thank
as will I.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item is 2834. That is JASMEET as
2834.
This is a conditional no contest plea submitted by attorney and friend Richard Weiss in the amount of $5,000.
28, 20.
I'll accept 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Oh, 28, 34, I'm sorry. I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
You too.
So the next item is 2784. That's D Part NYC Retail Company LLC.
27.
2784. That's D Part NYC Retail Company LLC.
Good morning. Joseph Levy here on behalf of the applicant, Depart NYC Retail Company LLC. I have with me principal on the application, David Bruno.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
I do believe there's a letter of protest on file. I don't know if there's anyone here to protest.
Is there, Jonathan, is there anybody there?
No, there's no one here.
Okay. We did get, as you pointed out, one letter of protest.
Yep, I'll keep this this brief. I'm assuming that members received my submission. This is a retail wine and spirits store within the new Moynihan Train Hall, which is part of the new Penn corridor that's being redeveloped at the moment, connecting Penn Station, Moynihan Train Hall, and a few other buildings in the area. Massive redevelopment project spearheaded by New York State Urban Development Corp., Empire State Development Corp., some New York City entities, and Vornado Realty Trust. David and his group were hand-selected to be the sole and exclusive retail wine and spirits store within the Moynihan Train Hall. They've picked him, they've seen his work, they like his team, they like his concept. As I've put in my paperwork, their concept is unique. They are trying to bring an elevated wine and spirits retail experience to this main travel hub. There were two retail wine and spirits store within the old Penn Station. One of them is reopened and doing very well. The other one has not reopened yet. I don't know if it will. I've tried to inquire and no one seems to have that information.
Which one is the one that actually is open?
The one that reopened is Raj Wine LLC.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, the one we just did.
We did that one in 19.
Yeah, 2019. The other one that we don't know if it's reopening is Penn Wine and Spirits. I'm just not sure that part of the corridor, if construction's complete, if they're going to have a space, I don't know. That is part of the Penn Station building that is not owned by the same landlord here, so I couldn't get that information.
Levy, do you know the walking time between the Penn Station store that is open to your location?
The walking time, I'm not sure because I haven't timed it, but I can tell you that the way that things are right now with construction is you have to walk to the far end of Penn Station, up an escalator, across the street, down the block, then into the Moynihan Station building.
Yeah, but the plan is that eventually it'll be all connected inside, right?
It will be all connected inside, but it's not going to be a straight shot. So where this is 8th Avenue and 33rd, about midway down the block between 8th and 9th on the 33rd Street side. Where this other store is, that's open currently. This is the one. This is the one that's towards the 7th Avenue, 32nd Street, lower level.
Okay, understood.
Oh, and your store is going to be on the main level?
Correct. The access is directly from the street. There are some stairs up if you enter through the side. If you enter through the front of the building, you can walk right in the door of the complex. It's within the complex.
So your entrance is inside the station?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
But on street level?
Correct. And depending on where you enter the building, you either walk in directly on sidewalk level, or you have to go up some stairs into the actual building itself.
Okay.
All right.
Ready to vote? Commissioner Fan?
Are we really ready to go? The lenders are your parents?
It's private investment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Hold on a second. Let me just look at what we put here. 1 second.
I don't have any lender. It's his private investment account.
Oh, that's his private investment?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh,
your
that's-
private
yeah.
investment account, right?
Correct.
Molly
That's
is
correct.
your wife?
Wife.
Correct.
I see. Who's Molly? Molly is your mom?
Wife.
It's your wife, but she has a different address.
Our current legal residence.
Huh? She lives in Massachusetts?
Correct. That's our current legal address.
Oh, that's your current legal address, so you
Correct.
don't live in New York?
I don't currently have residence in New York.
So what is this address in Brooklyn?
That was prior to the pandemic.
You coming back?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Fan?
Hold on a second. Hold on.
She's still looking at
Just hold
stuff.
on. And who are the people that are on your team?
Feel from your deck. Like your.
Justin Cherno, Miguel De Leon. Miguel De Leon.
And who are they?
They are consulting wine buyers for Depar.
Okay.
Erica Katubig runs our education and is head of our human resources.
And that's it. And they're not owners, they're employees.
Okay.
I'm sole owner.
And what is Bright Endeavors?
That's a separate consulting company
Consult in what?
for my company, retail consultancy.
And what does that do?
We consult for fashion retailers and et cetera. Sole member, just me.
Yeah, but what
No
does that
interest in
mean?
this. No interest in this business. It's.
I understand. I'm just trying to understand what you do. Besides this wine business, what is the consulting?
This will be my only business.
She wants to know what else you do. So talk to her about your fashion consulting.
Yeah. It's Bright Endeavors was a fashion consultancy, so we consulted for retailers across the fashion industry.
Like consulting on what? The marketing, product line? What?
Marketing, retail strategy, e-commerce.
I see. And so why are you interested in the alcohol business?
One of my consulting practices brought me to the wine business. It was Verve Wine.
So what experience do you have in retail or anything like that?
I've worked in retail my entire career. Fashion retail first, I was hired by Verve Wine to consult on retail strategy, helping them roll out their retail presence into other states. And then I was tapped by Vornado to bring in a new group of partners to start this business, due to my experience with Verve.
And who's the new group of partners?
The team listed: Justin Cherno, Miguel De Leon, Erica Katubig.
Not partner owners, partners like people to
operators
roll out the concept.
Okay, okay.
And you have your liquor retail in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's
so.
We're already operational under the Depart brand name in Massachusetts with a license.
He has a retail wine and spirit store in Massachusetts as well, which is where he's gotten some additional experience, in, especially in the alcoholic beverage retail market.
Okay. So this is essentially a chain that is in Massachusetts and also in New York. It's the same brand. It looks the same. The
Correct.
logo looks the same. Is that right?
Correct.
The same name, yeah.
Mr. Levy, is there a reason why that wasn't included on his employment history?
Because I don't think it was open yet by the time that we actually filed this application months and months ago.
So when did he begin that endeavor?
I'll have to take a look.
We submitted this in.
Ryan's standing right there.
Yeah, so
we submitted this in March, and we opened in Massachusetts in July.
And that's already operating.
Correct.
You didn't update the application though.
We haven't updated the application, no.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Change in fact, is it a material one? No.
Yeah.
Well, there's also we should go.
Yeah, can we just go and wait for a second? I just need, I have a question for council.
Brief recess for the members to speak with council.
Mr. Levy, I just feel like there's some missing information in this application that is being disclosed now. And so I think I'm going to give you 2 weeks to perhaps supplement this with all the appropriate information as far as who's actually going to be managing the store, and what even the work experience of the applicant is, where they're living, and all of those things, because it just seems like there are a lot of convenient, oh, that information wasn't available at the time, but there's definitely something missing here. So let's just clean that up, and we will vote again on November 10th. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay. I'm sorry that things were missing there, and just full disclosure, you did see the information about the Massachusetts store in my most recent submission. I wasn't hiding that fact, and I have alluded to it before, so I'm happy to clean up the application, include it, and do an amended PQ so it's very, very clear, but just for the record, I wasn't trying to not identify that space. It was in my submission.
I'm not thinking anything that was malicious or that you were trying to mislead us. I'm not thinking that yet.
We have,
yet.
Yet. The record for us suggests that your client there is going to work 80 hours a week in this store and doesn't even live in New York City. So I don't know quite how that could happen.
Sure. So I'm happy to flesh all that out in a very concise statement for you for the next board meeting. That's no problem.
Yeah, and then what his current, he indicates he's continuing his employment, so what part of how much time that's going to take, the living situation, as well as what his management duties are going to be as opposed to the employees. Because it sounds like those guys, and I'm not alleging they're owners, but it sounds like they're deeply involved with it as well. So I expect they're going to be doing something.
Sure. Happy to do that.
11:10?
Yeah, yes.
For the record.
Yes.
Board?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. See you guys in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 2789. That's Raj and ARYAN Court.
What's the date of the next meeting?
10. That's what 11:10.
Good morning.
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 This is a new package store. Are there any opposition or anyone else present?
Sorry, 2789?
Yes. And we also received no written protests either. Go ahead, Mr. Buscemi.
Yeah.
Put your name and client on the record too.
Yes, Francis Buscemi for the applicant. With me today is Mr. Day. He is the principal of the applicant. This is for a new liquor store license application for Raj and ARYAN Corp., located at 3835 Crescent Street in Long Island City. It's an 890 square foot store with 594 square feet of retail. It's located in a new building, a mixed-use building, which has 17 residential units with underground parking, free underground parking for the within the building for the customers of the stores. Mr. Day does have experience in the industry between 2013 and 2016. He had worked at 2 liquor stores as a salesperson. He wants to concentrate on French and Italian wines, have weekly tastings with club membership and free local delivery. As indicated in our submission, there is substantial residential development we cited, including the building he is in, over 300 residential units, as well as 11 hotels in close proximity in the area of this location. The population shows that there have been increases in population within the radiuses going up to 1 mile. These increases have existed since 2010, and the increases are projected to continue to increase over the next 4 years. With regard to the existing stores, the closest store is 0.5 of a mile away. That's 36 Ave Wine and Spirits. They're doing $3.5 million in sales, and their sales have increased since 2018. You've got Packard Square Retail. They did not report any sales. And Mr. Day, the applicant, has surveyed the other stores, gone to the stores. They don't conduct any tastings, and they're very limited in their selection of French and Italian wines. Then you have Bohemian Spirits, that's 0.6 of a mile away. That's a bulletproof store that has a small, very small wine selection. Again, they don't do any tastings. They do about $2 million a year. And then other than a slight dip in 2019, their sales have shown increases. Then lastly, we have 2704, which is 1 mile away. They're doing over $1.3 million, and they have increases in sales each year. Are there any questions?
You're using your Bitcoin for this?
Oh, I have no any Bitcoin. I have other coin. Thank you.
What did he say?
You have what?
Yeah, I have no. I don't carry any. I have no Bitcoin, but I have other coin.
The other type of currency, not Bitcoin
Oh, you have
specifically.
the other type of currency.
Yeah.
Got it. And your wife is going to be working here?
Yeah, she's going to be working with me too.
Yes, the company's named after his 2 children, Raj and Aaron.
Okay, and how old are they?
One is 13 and one is 6.
6 and 13.
So it'll be a while till they're into the business.
All right.
Who owns the liquor stores you worked at previously?
Yes, so I work in the Christopher Street Wine and Liquor in the 45 Christopher Street, Manhattan. And I work 36 Wine and Liquor is the Queens Bluebird nearest the Sunnyside or Queens Plaza.
And are they relatives of yours?
No.
How do you know them?
Yeah, so Christopher Street Wine and Spirit owner is from Bangladesh. So one is friend introduced him and he gave me the job the first time.
Then family members, after I discussed this with Mr. Day, then some family members came over from Bangladesh, and he took them in to work at his store. So then there was no more room for Mr. Day to be employed there. Then he sought other employment and got it at whatever it's called, Wine of 36 in Queens, in the Queens Plaza area.
I mean, he's in his application stating that he's only working there 20 hours a week. Is that right?
Yeah, he's just to correct that, right. He wants to start working. He wants to open the store. He's been driving Uber now for some time for the support of his family. He doesn't feel that he'll be able to just sever his employment with Uber and be able to support the family. So he wants to continue on at Uber part-time, put in 20 hours or so a week at the liquor store, and then as things start to progress, then he'd be leaving Uber and working full-time management at the liquor store.
Okay, but I don't have a manager personal questionnaire here, so who's running the store? Because I asked if the wife was running the store, and he said maybe. So who's running the store?
I'm going to run the store. I'm going to run the store. As much as my time I'm going to spend.
I know, but he is going to spend some time operating his Uber car. So his wife will be at the store, and then he'll be hiring an employee that he hasn't picked yet. We'd be more than happy prior to license issuance, if this is approved, to provide you with a personal questionnaire.
Did any of the other licensees that you work for give you any money to invest in this store?
No, sir.
No, Mr. Chairman, there's no relationship there at all as far as this business goes.
Well, I mean, my question is based on his employment and having over the last 5 years and having somewhat of an idea of what those jobs pay, I'm kind of questioning where the 113,000 came from that he invested in this.
You've got brokerage accounts or the coin accounts that have increased in value dramatically. I mean, you have this is all his own money.
Sir, I invested 11,000 in Dogecoin. Now it's worth like 40, but it's going up to 75,000.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm just saying
currency.
that it seems like a large investment of your,
life savings.
Yeah, if it's such a big chunk of your life savings, then I would spend more than 20 hours there. That's my only. And it seems like there has not been money put aside in the budget for an experienced manager. So.
Well, his wife will also be at the store. And it's just a matter of getting things going so that he can leave Uber. But we didn't want to mislead you we didn't want to mislead the authority that he'd immediately leave Uber. It's just he wants that income coming in as he starts the store up.
Okay. All right.
As he transitions.
All right.
Exactly, Commissioner. He needs that transition time. He's not rich, and he is investing a substantial amount of his life savings in order to support his family, so that they can have, so he doesn't have to drive Uber. Not that there's anything wrong with driving Uber for the rest of your life, but this is something he's trying to get into,
No,
field
and it's
that he's
named after
worked
the
in,
kid.
that he feels he can have a good future in.
Yeah, and this better be a successful venture, right? So.
Yes.
Members are ready to vote.
I'm impressed that you found a spot that's half a mile from another store. So I'm going to find public convenience and advantage, and I'm going to vote to approve. Good luck.
Commissioner Ford?
It's a very small footprint of a store. The other stores seem to be holding their own. Actually, the fourth closest, their numbers have been on the rise since the license. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to vote for public convenience and advantage and approve as well.
Chairman Brown?
I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you.
So, the next item.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm waiting there.
The next item is 2783, that's South Brooklyn Liquors LLC.
Yes, Francis Buscemi for the applicant. With me is Alex Abramovich, principal of the applicant. This is on an alteration on an existing liquor store.
Hold on, Mr. Buscemi.
Is there any opposition present? We do have protests for the record.
Opposition?
There's no opposition.
So we do have 3 protests.
Yes. Should
Go
I
ahead.
continue? Yeah.
Yes.
This is located in a shopping center anchored by net cost. The store is 6,270 square feet with 3,000 square feet of retail space. The applicant wishes to enlarge the retail space by taking from the storage area 890 square feet, so that the total retail space would then be 3,890 square feet. By way of background, the application, Commissioner Fan had originally voted in 2019 to approve the application. So it was disapproved by a 2-to-1 vote, and then subsequent to appeal, the Liquor Authority did approve it with the 3,000 square foot retail space. As you can see from the data that we provided to you, this location in the method of operation.
Before we get into the data, it was 3,000 square feet because that's what he asked for.
No.
Yes.
No.
The application said a certain amount of number, and then when we were having an argument about whether we were going to approve it or not, your client said, fine, I'll go to 3,000 square feet.
If you would
Am I misremembering that?
No, you're not.
Okay, go ahead.
We filed an application for approximately 4,000 square feet or 4,200 square feet.
Actually, to be exact, I believe it was 3,890 square feet, retail.
Whatever. It wasn't 3,000, though. Be that as it may, you can see from that, we would have been much happier, obviously, with the 38 or the 3,900 or 4,000, whatever it originally was. Now, you can see from the data that we've supplied.
That's how it started.
So from the data that we've supplied, things have, the store has done very well. We indicated that we wanted to.
Well, Mr. Buscemi, and yes, the store clearly has done very well, but that's not the standard here. The standard is public convenience and advantage, which means we don't look at your store, we look at the other stores.
Well, I don't think that means you only look at the other stores when you have an existing store that's looking for an alteration as well. And I think you have to look at how this store has done.
And how this store has done, and how this store has affected the demand for alcohol in the region. And based on the 3 closest stores that we've gotten sales from, their numbers have clearly been affected by this store, as would be expected.
That doesn't mean that demand for alcohol and it's not a region, Mr. Chairman. This is much more local than a region.
I think the point that the chairman is trying to make is that, judging from public convenience and advantage, when you expand yourself so much to a point where the other stores may close, that is definitely a negative impact on public convenience and advantage, because there will be less outlets altogether. It's not just about the fact that you're selling for less prices, is that now we're going to have people that have to work or drive a lot further to get to your store in event that these 4 closest stores continue to decrease in sales, and their numbers are going really, really, double, triple downward.
Yeah. Well, they nosedived when you opened.
Yeah, and you're doing $13 million. So at some point, enough is enough, and my vote is no.
Well, I mean, can I be heard at least? I've been interrupted a number of times. I'd just like to be able to make my presentation.
Go ahead.
Okay. I vote no.
When you're talking about demand for alcohol and how this store, I think it's obvious that the sales that this store has done far, far exceed any losses from the other existing stores. So there's been a dramatic increase in sales, in demand for alcohol within the area that this and the other stores exist. It just so happens the public enjoys.
What are you basing that on? You're simply basing it on the fact that your client's store does $13 million. If we want to go outside the 4 closest stores, are you telling me that you're assuming their sales are all going up too?
Well, you've got a store was it $20 million? Yeah.
Well, how about you assume that, and I'm going to assume that those stores, the reflection in their sales are the same as the reflection of the 4 closest stores, which have all bottomed out because of the new store opening up. What I'm saying is you're speculating, so don't speculate on facts that you don't have any information on.
The stores will close. You're speculating that the stores will go out of business.
I'm not speculating.
You've got hard data here.
We're not speculating on anything. We have numbers of their sales that show that their sales have bottomed out since your client's store opened. You're telling us to ignore that, and it means the demand for alcohol in the larger region went up, yet you have nothing to prove that.
My client's sales prove that.
No, they don't. They prove nothing because you don't know what the other stores are doing.
We know what the other stores are doing. You have their sales numbers.
No, you're telling us he's pulling sales from other areas. That may be true, but what's he doing to those other areas' stores?
I didn't say he's pulling sales from other areas. You just said it. I never said that.
So now Brooklyn is just all of a sudden drinking more because he opened up.
There's been a dramatic increase. He keys in on kosher wines. He keys in on Asian products. And these are the products that he wants to expand.
Listen,
we'd be willing to limit.
The point here is, and counsel has pointed this out to you, and he's pointed this out to numerous other attorneys who appear in front of us. You are throwing facts that aren't facts. And we're getting tired of it. If you have sales numbers from those other competing stores, bring them in and then make your argument.
Well, I think the liquor authority should bring them in before they start speculating. I can't get the sales from other stores.
Letters. I'm not speculating. I have 2 handwritten protest letters here from neighboring stores saying that they will close. So, and these numbers are dramatically decreasing. dramatically decreasing. We're talking about 50% of business. So, exactly.
Liquor stores all across the board in New York City and New York State had a 30 to 40% bump because of the pandemic. You know,
yeah, like
where, you know.
Well,
we're here.
I was just going to say.
And South Brooklyn's on track to do 20 million.
Just for the record, I've been sitting here for a year and a half in the midst of this pandemic, and I don't think we've seen a market like this one where the stores surrounding one store have all gone down.
Well, not going
There's been
bad.
at least a 20 to 30% bump fairly consistently, if not more, across the board throughout New York City, and we see 10 or 12 liquor store applications a month, if not more.
Yeah.
So there's something happening to this market that's different from the other markets that we've seen based on the pandemic.
Not only did he do 13, almost 14 million last year, as the other closest stores near him nosedived. For 2021, through halfway through the year, you're at 6.2. So you're on pace to do the same thing again this year.
No, more.
Even
He's
more.
going to be doing, I gave you the data
So
through October.
I'm just saying, I think to come back and ask for another 900 is kind of being greedy at this point. That's how I feel about it. So I'm denying it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about greed. I'm talking about the fact that we're supposed to be dealing with public convenience and advantage. And I don't think I could have made the argument any better or more succinctly than Commissioner Fan did. That if all these stores end up having less products or, God forbid, close, that clearly is less public convenience and advantage.
And for the record, looking at these numbers, even though we got Article 78 and had to give it to you, I feel like my original denial was justified.
I do too.
Just been proven.
I do too. But we weren't, so.
Mr. Buscemi, can you stop shuffling your papers down at the top of the microphone?
Good luck.
Thank you.
For my record.
All right, thank you.
Yes, from all three.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the next item is 2829. That's H&Q Lynn Inc.
This is a conditional no contest plea offer.
28, 29.
You held it over.
Yeah, we held it over.
Yeah, you held this over from last time.
2667 last time.
Did we hold it over because he wasn't here, or did we hold it over for a reason?
We held it.
So you wanted to
I
review
see.
it, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman.
yeah, so I actually asked for this to be held over. I thought the number was exceedingly low. This is co-op buying. And not only that, the client admitted it to our investigator.
Yeah,
So,
if I,
go ahead.
can I just to make the distinction? Look, the number was a number which, was worked through with the prosecuting attorney. So, I mean, that's where that comes out of.
Are you blaming it on our
the little
staff
distinction
now?
between, there's a
Well, it
little
is their fault.
distinction. There's a little distinction between your normal co-op buying situation here, in that he was going, if he was short on something, he'd go to borrow some goods. It wasn't that retailers were getting together, 2 or more retailers getting together and say, let's buy 100 or 200 cases and split it up. It's not
What
the
do you
type
mean?
of
So
situation.
what, I'm not following the borrowing. He would go and take a case of, say, Absolute, bring it back to his store, sell it, and then what's he giving the guy back?
He's giving, when he got some Absolute in, he'd give it back. There's also one, charge 3, if you look at it closely, I think it was charge 3, that
Wait,
there was
let's
just a
not,
mistake.
hold on one second, Mr. Buscemi.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that. Can you tell us, with authority, because you know and your client told us, how that would work? When he sells the product that he just borrowed from one of the local competitors, what was the arrangement? Who kept the profit? Who took the money? Who was paying the wholesale? Can you give us more detail?
I cannot. Whatever's in the report. It's in the report. What he disclosed is in the report. I just wanted to point out that it wasn't a bunch of retailers getting together. That happens. We all know that happens as well.
I disagree with you. The evidence that I have says that he's borrowing from, according, and I'm using quotes for borrow, he's borrowing from 3 different stores. Now, if you have a friend and you're going to borrow a few bottles because you run out, which is illegal, but I might understand that. But now he's running to all the closest stores in the neighborhood and getting cases? Come on.
Well, I don't think it's a substantial amount of cases, but yes, that's what he was doing, and he admitted it. He admitted it, Mr. Chairman.
He's
And
not
I just wanted to point out.
They're buying. It doesn't matter. If we wanted to get into that, he could go to hearing. We're going to change. We're going to change the fine that you at that point can make a decision.
Okay. Did you look at number 3?
Yeah, and I don't agree with you on that either.
He has we gave you the invoice.
It doesn't matter. How does that prove he didn't go to that store and get it?
He has an invoice for the same day, for the same product.
So what you're telling me, so what you're telling me is that the Southern guy that say delivered 25 cases to this guy properly, but one of those cases happened to be a store that he borrowed from all the time.
No, this was 25 cases of the, what is it, P. Masson, brandy.
And Southern just by happenstance dropped 25 cases at the wrong liquor store.
It happens. I've seen it happen.
If you get me an affidavit from Southern Wine and Liquor, I'll dismiss that charge.
They're not going to give us an affidavit. All right.
I don't think they will, because I think the driver is going to come in and tell us that, no, I delivered it there because I delivered it to the right store and the other guy brought it over. But I'm at 15,000.
25 cases, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he accepted the product.
I'm at 15 if you want to.
I'll go to 15 as well, 15,000.
It should be a cancellation, but yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner Ford, did you vote? I didn't hear.
Yes, you did.
Not that it matters, but I said yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right, have a good day.
You know. He told me. He told me.
I told Don that's what counts.
There you go. Today. The next item is 2826. It's Esther, HADASSA.
Those cases
Court.
get me so pissed because they're chronic. They're literally chronic.
The last 4 board meetings for the applicant of the year.
2826?
2826.
Hello. My name is Marek Shved, and this is Anna Prince, the applicant. We were here last time, and Anna was out of town.
Okay.
This is a class change.
What time do you close?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
Early.
What about weekends?
11.
Okay.
And do you have signed stipulations from the community board?
Yes, she does.
Oh, they're signed now? Because we had unsigned.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
There was some question ALJ had about the use of an outside area.
They
cleared
do
up or
have, they do have a permit from the Department of Transportation to allow use of sidewalk.
What about?
That's for sidewalk, that's for, right, that's for code.
Not part of the permanent license.
Correct.
So you right now have outdoor space in front of the restaurant?
There is no space, right? Is there?
There's a couple tables.
Yeah. Yes, there
And
is.
then do you have anything in the backyard outside or no backyard?
There's no backyard.
There's no backyard, it's just the tables in the front?
Yeah, it's just a couple of tables because the place
That's
is
a part
very
of the
small.
open restaurant program?
Correct. DOT approval.
Okay.
Doors and windows allowed to be open?
It's on the door, and they have a little coffee takeout window in the front. It's a really small space. I think 30 seats tops.
Okay.
Closing early.
All right.
Commissioner Fan?
Yep, I'm ready to vote. With the community board support, I'm going to vote to approve this class change from on-premise wine to on-premise liquor with the following conditions. Recorded music only, no private parties, no promoters. I will do midnight across the board.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Ford?
Midnight across the board, you said?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'll approve as well.
And Chairman
Thank you.
Brown?
I'll approve under the same conditions.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yes.
We're gonna take a,
Five.
we're gonna take a.
We're gonna take a brief recess. We'll be back.
party to go to.
All right, so we're back from the brief recess. Next item is 2786. That's JBBQ SHABU Corp.
2786.
Wait, right? 2786. Wait, did I pull that wrong? No.
I just didn't.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
All right, good afternoon, Thomas McCallum, here with the applicant principal, Robert Lamb. This is a licensing matter for a restaurant wine. It's before the members due to the fact, and I guess the delegation authority, the prior licensee was disapproved or caused COVID violations. So this application is before you. In large part, I've submitted all the requests on a deficiency letter, and licensing couldn't act on it due to its limited authorities, so here we are.
So let me ask you this. It appears, based on the information I have, that the applicant that was previously denied borrowed all the money for that licensed establishment or potential licensed establishment from this individual. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, there was a
So
promissory note.
what's their connection? What's their connection?
The licensee that was disapproved, he was a former employee of Mr. Lamb, so it was an opportunity. He went out, and due to code violations, he was disapproved, and he's out of the business now. So Mr. Lamb here needed to protect his collateral, so the consideration for this event was the forgiveness of the loan for a lease assignment, and that's the application before you. So,
And where is the former applicant now? Does he still work for him?
no, he doesn't work for me. I made the same inquiry.
He's
So
not,
that-
he's not the manager to be determined.
You said what?
No, I have a manager. When we filed it, we didn't have a manager. So I have a manager now, Michael Landisberg, who's a full-time manager.
Okay.
Oh, you have someone else now.
Now we do, because they're operational without the license. We thought we were in the home stretch, and then we were derailed.
Okay.
So, Robert, so what's your relationship with Mickey right now?
There is no relationship now. We have no contact.
We have no contact. All right.
No contact.
And you're just regaining this venture.
Correct.
All right. What are the hours?
The hours are Sunday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 10. Friday, Saturdays is 3 p.m. to 11.
Okay.
And I learned SHABU. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yep, I'm going to vote to approve recorded music only, no promoters, no private events, midnight across the board.
Do you want to make an additional
And the
questionnaire of this
Yeah.
manager?
Yes,
Sure
and
it's
I-
not Mickey, name.
Yes.
Yes, and give us the personal question of the manager you mentioned, sir.
Mr. Landisberg, no trouble.
Yep, that's fine.
Yep.
Commissioner Ford?
Same conditions I approve as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll approve as well. And just, I also want to add the condition that, and if Mickey ever comes back to work for you again, which obviously at your other places I don't care about, but he's not to manage this place.
I'll make that clear,
Got it.
Mr. Chairman.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thanks very much.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you.
So the next item is 2791, Richmond Wine and Liquory.
Good afternoon, Charles Lynn for the applicant, Richmond Wine and Liquor Inc. With me is one of the principals, Karit Patel, and this is a request for a warehouse permit for my client. Richmond Wine and Liquor was issued as a transfer application. This was a purchase from an existing store, so I don't believe that there's any public convenience and advantage issue, as my client's application was a transfer application and not a submission for a new store. However, having said that, the other, as I see in the advisory, the other question that might be for the authority might be whether this was a bait and switch type of application. And I just want to point out on the application that the financial disclosure which was submitted, which shows all of the money that's used for the application, specifically had $2.2 million shown as the amount that was going to be utilized, allocated for inventory. I also submitted the SBA loan documents, which also show specifically that there was an allocation for inventory of $2.2 million. And then lastly, the application also states that the size of the store was 2,200 square feet, that 1,600 square feet would be used for retail and 600 for storage. So it was quite obvious, other than possibly checking a box that says we were going to file later on for a warehouse permit, that we did need additional storage for the kind of inventory that we planned to have. There was no deception on my part, nor the client, to deceive the authority with regards to that. It was not done surreptitiously. And like I said, if there was a box that could have been marked, are you going to be applying for a warehouse permit, that would have been marked as such. So I'm asking that the warehouse permit be issued to my client.
How would that look? It would look like there's one storefront and then a couple of stores down, you have storage. How are you branding the storage space?
It's 4 stores to the side of my client's store. I had put in my submission, I have 4 clients that have exactly like this, and they're just my clients. I don't know how many there are that have the warehouses contiguous with the other store. And what they normally do is they block it up so that, again, there's no selling space, so there's no need to really market anything with regards to the store. So they usually put the bulletins or the pictures of pints and quarts of the different alcohol and wine things to just cover it up, and you usually can't see within. At least my 4 clients, that's what they do, and so that there's really no way that people really know that one is a part of the other.
Have you had a conversation with landlord about removing the GameStop reference on your second door? Because I don't want people walking up, driving in, thinking they're going to GameStop and it's actually alcohol storage.
I don't know whether there was I don't know whether there was that conversation, but that certainly is not a problem.
Well, it's in the photo that you submitted to us, so.
Can I just look? Oh, that's, I didn't have the.
Either they change it to the name of your store, or it needs to be blank.
I would rather have it blank again, because of the situation that we really, it's not a public convenience and advantage argument, but we certainly
that's
don't
fine,
want.
but I just know that in this day and age in real estate, sometimes asking for something blank is harder than asking them to replace it, like, because they don't want holes on the wall or whatever. But that just needs to get fixed. That needs to get fixed. That's
okay. That's not a problem, one way or the other.
You ready to vote?
I'm okay with it. Do you have any comments? I'm okay with it. I'll vote to approve.
I vote to approve as well.
I vote to approve. Reluctant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think that legally there's anything we could do.
Well, except this the GameStop thing, like, at least, like, let it not be.
Next item is 2788, that's Oceania Food and Beverage LLC.
Morning, everybody. Oh, I have to take out this.
Hang on one second.
Can you put your name on the record?
My name is Jin Chao Niu. Last name NIU. It's for Oceania Beverage, Food and Beverage, LLC.
Okay, that's a Chinese restaurant that you run?
Yes, mostly offer Asian food and seafood and also beverages, including alcohols.
You're not serving alcohol right now, right?
No, it's a brand new business.
Oh, okay.
What are your hours?
We're going to open from 11 to 11 p.m. and during the weekend, 11 to 2 a.m.
You have karaoke?
Right now, we don't plan for that. Record music now.
But you asked for karaoke, so do you want karaoke or no karaoke?
Yeah, we want later on.
You want karaoke?
Yeah, we want to entertaining our customers.
You're entertaining them or they're entertaining you?
Oh, I think both people just come to the bar to release, to have a nice environment, to try to meet new friends, and that's my goal.
Before this, you were running a travel business?
Oh yes, I was being a travel business owner for 16 years, and that's also one reason now I plan for the local business, because I have a team working with me for many years. But since the pandemic, I have to talk to them. I cannot offer them job right now, but it's very struggling because they've been working with me for many years. They're all very capable hands. So that's why I opened the bar. This is one reason is I want to benefit the local community and local residents, but I also want to offer job to my former employees during the pandemic. I don't want to see them to lose the job. We are a very good group. I want the group back together, and we have confidence. We can do benefits the local community, local residents, and also I can offer them job again. I hope you can understand me.
So is this a restaurant or is it a bar?
It's a bar and also offer food. Because my former employees, they're mostly tour guides, and also some of them, they're doing very good marketing job. We used to sell more than 30 million in 2019 for OTA, online travel service. But since the pandemic, I have to change. I try to have the group back together again, and we have confidence. We can do the bar very well, and we can do the bar benefit the local community and local residents.
The ALJ didn't say that you haven't met the standard. They said that she wrote you failed to meet the burden.
Failed for what?
I was gonna rip into that too, but it's not her, it's the rep. All right.
Yeah, this is my
Is your
first
rep,
time
your
too.
rep's not, your representative's not with you, correct?
Yeah, the lawyer should not come.
Okay, all right.
How come this is no community board? Is this in a location that has no community board?
Yeah, the location is at Flushing. Yeah, actually, this is it's a bar street, and opposite the Marco Hotel, and behind the 4 Points new hotels. And
No,
there's also a lot of
What she's questioning or asking you is, did you meet with the community board in Flushing?
No,
Did you give them? Oh, you wouldn't even know, probably.
I report all those documents.
Yes,
the
they were
lawyer
notified.
request.
They may have just chose not to respond. It looks like a pretty small venture.
Okay.
Are you going to be on the sub-level or up the stairs?
That's the ground floor.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
Give me 1 second. Oh, I see. It's a commercial street.
Yeah.
All right, so since you're planning to have a bar business, I'm going to give you 2 a.m. across the board, karaoke and recorded music, no promoters, manager as needed, security guard as needed.
Yes, we will.
Commissioner Ford?
I approve on the same terms.
Chairman Bradley?
I approve on the same conditions. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're approved.
I will
Good
try
luck.
my best to do the best bar. Thank you.
All right, good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
What she said?
She's gonna do the best.
So, next item is,
Bye. Don't forget your jacket.
Can you ask for anything more than that?
We made somebody's day today. How about that? Happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
2825, 1269 Bronx Deli Grocery Court. This was held over from the last meeting.
2825.
2825. 1269 Bronx Deli Grocery Store.
Is Mr. Palillo your attorney?
No. I'm sorry, could you repeat the name?
Palillo.
No, sorry. My name is Ezekiel Gomez. I'm the representative for applicant 1269 Bronx Deli. Next to me is Glenys Amonte, which is the principal in the application. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So you have a couple other delis.
Yes, at the moment she has two other grocery stores, 984 Jennings and 1803 Mason Street, which is Dominic Deli and Genesis Deli Corp. And they are both
Okay.
licensed. Yes.
And no history.
And no history. So how did she find out about this opportunity?
Well, we found out about this opportunity because the previous owner was my client, and she was selling, so I referred her the opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay, and she will be running all the three of the locations herself.
Yes, it's actually a family business, but she will be managing, and to help her family, her brothers, they're gonna be overlooking for the time that she's not there during the day.
So if the former applicant was your client, how'd you find her?
She's also my client as well. I just made the reference. That's all.
Her father was a prior licensee, correct?
On 984 Jennings Street, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Ready to vote?
Yes, I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Disapprove applicant. So, I am not. Looking at the financing.
Yeah, that's the question.
What the investment and who's holding the note and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not satisfied that that's all square and plumb. So
May I ask what it is that you would need to be sufficient enough to provide that? Because the financing, I mean, she already has two businesses. It's coming from her. The promissory note was done, I guess, as a grace to help her make the payments over time and continue to run the business during the pandemic, because that's when the business was purchased. It was purchased at the beginning of this year. As you can see, it was submitted. We made our incorporation and everything in the beginning of January of 2021. So if there's
this
anything
is like 3 licenses, right, with just about no investment.
Excuse me?
This is 3 licenses. What's the investment here?
$694.
$94, yeah. So,
well, the license fee, she put 5 down, 5,000 cash, and we made a promissory note for 15,000.
Can I ask a question? How many hours a week does your client work?
Well, she puts in the current 2 businesses and the third one now that we added this year. She puts in 40 to 45 hours on all 3. She stops by, she makes inventory, she pays her, her brothers. And
Okay, but here's the problem. The applications for each of these businesses show that she's going to have to work 80 to 100 hours a week, because she's got 35 to 40 hours a week on Genesis, 20 to 30 hours a week on Dominic, and now 25 to 30 hours a week here.
Okay.
So what's going to happen to her hours going forward? Who's managing the other places and who's managing this one?
Well, to be fair, the first application was Genesis Deli. That was the time that she was committed to that location. The second, which is Dominic Deli, she put in 2030, and now I would say that I would have to amend the hours and speak to her so we could give you guys the correct information as to what she's going to put in. As for who's going to manage the store, like I said, it's a family business, and her brothers, she has 2 brothers, they're currently running when she's not there. She's mostly there all the time. She opens, and she goes back at night to collect the revenue for the day. I hope that answers your question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Ford.
How come she hasn't talked at all?
By all means.
How do you plan to work these hours? Step over to the mic, please.
Well, I would work in different store, like 34 hours a day for one store and 34 hours a day for another store.
Like I said, I'm sorry to butt in, but she's a bit nervous
Yeah,
with
I'm
public
nervous.
speaking.
I'm sorry.
If there's a way that we could amend the hours that she would put in for this current location in 1269 Grand Concourse, then that way you guys could better see what it is that we're trying to convey today.
Can I have a brief counsel?
Yes.
Counsel.
We're going to go on a brief recess to discuss a legal issue with counsel.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're on mute.
All right, we're back on the record.
For the record, may I give a comment briefly before you guys continue?
No, I think we're going to comment.
Okay.
You want to vote or no?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm here, right? Yeah. That's what I drove here for. I'm going to go along with Commissioner Fan's decision to approve as well.
Thank
you.
But with concerns, and I'll hand it over to the chairman.
And I had some concerns going in, and then when she attempted to even talk to us, I got even more concerned. So
I got nervous.
Well, I don't know if you got nervous or you really don't know anything about the business because we question whether you're running any of them. So I'm going to put this on the record very clearly that if you are found to be not involved in the day-to-day operations of any of your 3 stores and somebody else is running them and making money off the sale of whatever's being sold there, including beer, you and your family are going to lose all 3.
Okay.
We will revoke 1 license, and that will mean all of the licenses go. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I would, if you're not involved in the day-to-day operations, I would make sure you are. That means your name on everything.
Yes, yes, sir.
And I'll vote to approve.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And, next item is 2787, KYRENIA Rest Corp. KYRENIA Rest Corp. Oh, there you go.
Hi. Good afternoon. Rosa Ruiz, representative for KYRENIA Invest Corp. I have with me the applicant, Patiscary Papaluz. This is an application for a full on-premises liquor license. She's been open and operating for the last 5 years without the sale of alcoholic beverages.
When we approved this previously in 2015, why didn't she meet the conditions, and what were the conditions she didn't meet?
The only condition that she wasn't able to meet was to be able to get a current letter of no objection. And exactly what happened, I didn't do that original application, but that was why she ended up not having the license issued.
Does she have one now?
I have an architect working on it, working with the buildings department.
What's the limit we put on these? 18 months?
18 months, so 6 months initially with.
I mean, we're hearing they're backed up 2 years.
So hopefully, I mean, he's been working on it, so hopefully it won't be that much longer, but the license
Okay.
can get issued without that.
A conditional letter of approval can get issued with that, but not the license. Not the license.
Yeah.
But you're running the same danger if you don't have it in hand, that you're gonna run out the clock again. All right. I don't have any other questions.
We need to clarify the hours.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question.
Yeah, it's in there because of.
You say in your supplemental that it was the hours were in the questionnaire were a typo, and yet the questionnaire was handwritten, so I.
Well, I can't really
I wanna
say
make sure
handwritten.
you were talking about
No, that was my fault. I ended up reversing it. I don't know why I did that.
All right, so it's 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday and 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday?
It's 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday.
We don't have that, do we?
Yeah,
No, that's in the supplemental. Okay, all right.
There's also initially occupancy.
The
Yeah,
occupancy
you have more seats than you do with your employees. You're gonna go over the occupancy.
No, the occupancy, the seats are 39 and she has 5 employees.
Then you have 6 seats at the bar.
So that's, how many seats at the bar? 3. Oh, 3 seats at the bar.
So that's not what the application has. All right, well, you can't go over 50. That's what,
No.
obviously your max occupancy.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
means that includes customers and employees, no matter how many seats you have.
Yes.
All right, I think.
Ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Parent?
Yep, I'm gonna vote to approve background music only, no promoters, no private parties. Did I say background music only?
Yes.
I'm gonna do midnight Sunday to Thursday, 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
You need a bathroom waiver? No.
I submitted one with the application.
Okay, I'll give you a bathroom waiver if you need.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll approve on the same conditions.
And Chairman?
I will as well.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was 12 items Sunday. All right, next item is, that's the last item. Jonathan, do we have anything else?
Those guys from.
What are you here for?
Yeah, what are you here for?
The sheet, I was in the neighborhood, so I figured I'd stop by a couple CNCs before I go.
Sure.
I think the sheet's coming over.
No, we're glad to see you, honestly.
I appreciate that.
Don't speak for all of us. Don't speak for all of us?
That sounded like Thomas?
Yeah, I'm shocked these people are just gonna give us $200,000 without explaining themselves.
He can't even give it to us because he's not on the license.
Yeah.
It's not the licensee. That's what the whole thing is. It's, a guy bought the whole thing, availed the license, and now he wants to pay us. He can't.
You need the number?
No, I gave her the number.
Jonathan, give us the numbers, please.
Yes, Rushmeyer.
Yeah. 02786.
Looks like it's
786.
Shit.
contract sale too, by the way.
Wait, sorry, what number?
2786.
Was there anything else?
One here and.
Yeah. And then there's 02779, 02777, and then 02806.
2786 was called already.
86 was called already.
Yeah, so,
No, 006.
so we have 2706.
2706, there is no 2706.
Yeah, that's right. Jonathan, all right, what's the first number again?
The first one that signed in was 2786.
That's done.
That's done.
Is it?
Right. The next one is
That's done,
2779,
right?
2777.
And then 826.
No, 2806.
2806, okay.
That's the last one.
2806?
So you have 3 items?
I signed in for 3 items, 3 conditional no contest, please.
Yeah.
What was the last one, 2806?
2806.
All right, ring them in.
What's first?
All right. So 2779, that's Waypoint Restaurant LLC.
Yes, 2,000, I'll accept.
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 And then we have 2777, B&L Mordecai.
I accept 1,500.
Sure, Ford.
777? Accept? Yep.
Accept. Accept.
And the last one was 2806 at 7 Depot Tavern Court.
2,500, accept.
2,500, accept.
Thank you very
Accept.
much. Be well.
Accept.
Bye.
Bye.
Go ahead. I need to know more when the clients find out.
Yeah.
You charge a lot for that.
That's a lot of work.
Tough work today.
So we got an email from Frank Palillo for item 2808.
Hold on, sir. Is Mr. Palillo your attorney?
Yes.
He's on his way, so.
2808.
Yeah, 2808.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
And what's the email say?
Mr. Palillo was in court, he assured me it wasn't.
I'm not waiting, let's go.
So he's on his way.
All right. We're going to go through the other ones until and see where we're at. Well, I didn't know he went to court, but good for him.
Can we go to councils, to talk to council for a second, please?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to go on a brief recess to speak to council.
Make a little.
All right, we're back on the regular.
I don't
Jonathan,
know.
that's the last one, right? Nothing else? Just 2808. Let's see what's up.
Hearing nothing?
Jonathan?
You guys are muted down
Yeah,
there.
can you guys hear us?
Jonathan, stop reading the paper.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that Tom is muted, but
Okay,
All
well,
right, Tom, you can sit down.
they were having problems before.
So what we're going to do is run through the numbers that we don't have anybody signed up for, and Mr. Palillo's number will go last. If he's here at that time, he can do it. If he's not, his client can do it. Okay.
So we have 2754, 566 River Street, Inc.
I'll accept 2,000.
Accept.
Accept.
2755, offer $1,500.
I'll accept 1,500.
Accept 1,500.
Accept.
2756, offer $2,000.
I'll accept 2,000.
Accept.
Accept.
2757, an offer of $15,000.
I will withdraw charge 10. I'll accept 1,500, 15,000.
Did we get asked to withdraw charge status?
I think so, yes.
By council?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford?
Accept. Withdraw charge 10.
I usually wouldn't just make it
No,
up.
I know. I missed it, is what I'm saying. I'll accept and withdraw the charge.
2758, it's a no contest default hearing.
I'm canceling bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
All right, we have 2759 and 2760, it's a offer of $2,000.
2,000, accept.
2,000, accept.
Accept.
2761, it's an offer of $7,500.
License is expired.
Is this renewed?
No.
No? Oh, wow.
Because she wrote a good mitigation letter.
I know, so,
I was willing to go down to 5,000.
yeah, I'll go to 5,000 then.
5,000.
2762, it's an offer of $1,500.
1,500, accept.
What number was that? 2762?
Yep.
Accept, yes.
Chairman Brown.
Accept.
2763 is an offer of $2,000.
2,000, accept.
2,000, accept.
Accept.
2764 is an offer of $1,500.
I will withdraw charge number 6. I I would take 15.
Same, except.
I'll do the same.
2765, it's an offer of $1,000.
I'll accept.
They've been there since, what, 1937, is that correct? That could be the oldest one I've seen. I'll do 500.
I'm gonna accept.
All right. 2766, that's an
Holy
offer.
Cross Athletics. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
2766, it's an offer of $10,000.
I'll take 10,000.
Accept.
Accept.
2767, that's an offer of $1,500.
I accept 1,500.
Accept 1,500.
Accept.
2768, it's an offer of $1,500.
Accept 1,500.
Accept.
Accept 1,500.
2769, that's an offer of $1,500.
I'm actually going to go up on this. This has a really bad history, and this is not a COVID charge. This is actually a hookah charge. I'm at 5,000.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, one of the last ones they did was when they were suspended. So what were you at?
5,000.
I'll do 5,000 as well.
5,000, and the hookah warning is loud and clear. It's gonna go up exponentially next time.
2770, it's an offer of $12,000.
I would accept 12,000.
12,000 accept.
I'm gonna accept too, but I do have to point out that the attorney's pointing out that pepper spray being sprayed by the security guards is not an assault is, I think, inaccurate. Since the security guards it's illegal for them to be carrying pepper spray.
2771, it's an offer of $1,500.
I would accept 1,500.
1,500 accept.
I'll accept.
Bartender should never hit.
2772, it's a no contest default.
I'm at 2,000.
I'll do 2,000.
2,000.
2777, it's an offer of $1,500.
1,500.
Wait, we got 73, 74, 75, 76. We did 77.
What, 2773?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah. All right, so that's 1,500.
Accept.
Accept.
And Commissioner Banks says that.
Yes.
2774, that's an offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
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 2775, it's an offer of $4,500.
Which is Palillo's case, Tom?
I hate to say no to money, but I think that this is high. I'm going to go to 3,500.
2 bottles sold to a 19-year-old.
If there were no adverse history, this would be,
3,000.
well, it actually would be 2,500 because there's no adverse history, so.
No, it'd be 3,000.
Yeah, because it's 19, not 18.
It was within 3 years of licensing.
Oh, it's 2019, you're right, okay, my mistake.
I'll go to 3,500.
3,500.
2776, an offer of $4,000.
I have some problem with this one because they didn't change the method of operation from before, so what do you want to do?
What are we on, 76?
Yeah.
What's the method of operation?
It's just that, like, there was a prior agreement that they would actually file to change the security guard.
Oh, okay.
From
So what
the
do you want to
boss
do?
charge.
I don't care. I missed that, so I
in
agree.
the-
I agree with you, so what do you want to do? I think if you cancel and bond them,
We'll get their attention.
yes.
All right, we'll go to cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Next one is 2778, 2801, and 2802.
I'll accept 3,500.
3,500 accept.
Accept.
2780 and 2781, all for 4,000.
4,000 accept.
4,000 accept.
Accept.
2782, all for 1,000.
1,000 accept.
1,000 accept.
Accept.
2792, 2793, and 2794, it's an offer of 10,000.
I'll accept 10,000.
I'll accept.
Chairman Bell.
I'll accept.
2795, it's an offer of $1,500.
So we got a letter from, I believe, former Senator Little, who is, in my estimation, one of the best senators I've ever dealt with.
Absolutely.
Asking for us to show a little mercy here, so I'm willing to do that.
And Bolton Town Supervisor Conover, too, as well. I was willing to go with letter of warning.
Yep, I would do letter of warning.
Letter of warning.
2796 and 2798, it's an offer of cancellation of bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Cancel and bond.
2797, it's an offer of $1,500.
I'm gonna go to 750.
2797. Holy shnikes, Batman. 2797. Why do I not have this one? What number is this? I'm sorry.
It's 2797.
Bear with me just 1 second. Why do I not have this one?
Are you stalling for Palillo?
No, I'll accept.
Accept.
I think he's gonna need a stall.
Yeah, because court, we all know where court is in Manhattan. It's a long way away.
I gotta tell you, I've been driving around Manhattan recently. It doesn't seem like there's any less traffic.
Oh, that right now.
No, traffic is more.
Yeah.
100%, because people are not taking the trains.
And they probably don't want to get in cabs either.
It's crazy.
The weekend, the football traffic, all of the Jersey, it's.
You can't get out of Manhattan like there's a George Washington Bridge.
No, you can't. You can't at all.
Sorry, brief.
Soho downtown.
What?
Friday.
Brief technical issue, Ryan.
All right, go ahead.
Crazy. What's that?
He's holding it up for Palillo.
It's a brief technical issue, though.
Oh, come on.
I just know we never have technical issues when I'm over there.
Yeah, we do. They're not at the computer. They're usually
We have issues, just not maybe technical.
We're good.
You have that? Okay. Alright, so next one is 2799.
1,500 accept.
Accept.
2799. Accept.
2800, offer of 1500.
1,500 accept.
1,500 accept.
Accept.
No, it's not. Sorry. 2803, that's an offer of $3,000.
3,000 accept.
Accept.
3,000 accept.
2804, that's an offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
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 2805, that's an offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
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 2807, that's an offer of $2,500.
2,500 accept.
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 This is now Frank Pillows.
You want to hold?
Yeah,
We'll hold on
we'll
that.
hold it.
Alright, so 2811, that's an offer of $7,500.
I'm at 10,000.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that, 10,000.
And I'll say for the record too, next time with the gambling or cigarettes, game over.
10,000.
2813 and 2814, that's an offer of $2,500.
2,500.
Accept.
Accept.
2815, offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
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 2816, offer of $7,500.
7,500 accept.
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 2817, that's an offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
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 Twenty-eight eighteen, that's a offer cancellation.
Cancel and-
$1,000 civil penalty.
Cancellation and $1,000 civil penalty.
So is this in lieu of the bond, or?
Yeah.
If
Okay.
they don't pay the civil penalty, then we'll take the bond.
They
Okay.
want their credit history to go up in smoke.
Got it, okay.
I'll accept too, yep.
Yep.
2819, it's a no contest.
I'm at 750.
I'll do 750.
750.
2820 and 2821, it's an offer of cancellation and bond.
Wait, what number?
2820 and 2821.
Oh, I'll take cancel and bond.
Yep, accept.
Okay.
Yes, accept, I'm sorry.
2822, that's an offer of 2,000.
I'll take 2,000.
2,000 accept?
Accept.
2823, an offer of 5,000.
I'll take 5,000.
Accept, are they licensed for hookup period, Adam? This one, 2823?
It's not something that we would allow.
Not what?
We don't ask that method of operation, who is sorted.
There's only like 150 licenses in New York City, so it's very unlikely that
There's
they
only
actually
15,000.
I know. The odds are they're not.
Okay, all right, thank you for that bit of information.
I have a Frank Little update. He is parking his car.
Okay.
Go hockey.
Yes, yeah.
Chairman Riley.
Yeah.
What were we at, accept?
Yes.
Yeah.
2824, it's a no contest default.
I'm at cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
2827.
I'm surprised she didn't come back. Do we have any information about this woman? Is she gonna come in with the financial information or just deny this?
Did we ask?
We asked her to,
She
you
was
know.
here and you asked, yeah, you asked her to.
Remember her parents have a
Yeah,
store?
yeah.
We wanted to know what the credit, where the credit was coming from, whether it was based on,
I think we deny it then.
I vote to deny.
Oh, yeah. So you've got licensing, you've got nothing to look over as far as financing as we
No, I'm
requested.
still checking the supplemental we sent in. It wasn't.
I just wonder if she understood that we were hearing it today and that she had 2 weeks to submit.
No, we discussed it.
You discussed it with
her.
her?
Yes.
Right, okay.
And she also got something from Secretary's office.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, then she chose not to come back. Guess she's not moving to Batavia.
Or Dunkirk, I mean, she lives in Batavia.
Right.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. I don't see any, without her here, we asked very specific questions regarding finances, was asked to bring in information, she didn't bring it in, so I'm denying for cause.
Same here.
2830, it's an offer, no, it's a no contest.
I'm at 1,000.
What were you at there, Commissioner?
1,000.
1,000?
Yeah.
I'll do 1,000.
1,000.
2831 and 2832, offer of $5,000.
This is definitely low. I'm gonna counter at 10,000.
Yeah, I would agree, 10,000.
10,000.
2833, an offer of 10,000.
I'll accept 10,000.
This is just remarkable to me. This case was just ridiculous.
Oh, no.
10,000 accept.
Delivering wine to a grocery store.
We have a Frank Little update.
Elevator?
He is in the room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm accepting.
All right.
2835, wait, he is here, do you want to just move on?
No, you can wait.
Yeah.
2835, that's an offer of 5,000.
5,000 accept.
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 2836 and 2837, that's an offer of 25,000.
I'm at cancel and bond.
Which number is this again, please? 2030?
2836 and
37.
2837.
This is two suspensions and then serving while suspended.
Yeah. Let me think about it. Cancel and bond.
I'm actually a revoke. I mean, they locked inspectors out on 3 separate occasions. They blatant disregard for the customers and the employees regarding COVID.
I'll go to revoke.
Revoke and bond, yep.
And we had to do 2, not 1, 2 summary suspensions just in order to get them to comply. Or shut them because they wouldn't comply. So I'm at revoke, so that's 3 revokes.
Yep.
All right, 2838, 2839, and 2840. That's a no contest default at hearing.
I think this is a cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
And we're at 2841, offer of 2000.
Accept 2000.
Accept.
We have 2841B, 2841C, 2841D, 2841E. It's a offer of 200,000.
Yeah, so this is one of the more interesting cases I have ever seen. Gary, or Counsel Meyerhoff, indicated that I shouldn't read it because there's no standing, which I agree with him on. But just to see that they kept violating the same laws over and over again, in spite of the fact that the inspectors would come and write them tickets, just shows me the complete disregard for their local community. But go ahead, Gary.
Well, there was a transaction here, and there's an availing, and the CNC was submitted with the under the premise that the buyer bought the entity and therefore controls as licensee. And there's an affidavit to that effect. And then the purchaser's lawyer, as of yesterday, said that he misunderstood and there was no purchase of the entity. So he was then going to go to the seller to try to get an offer. And we heard that there would be a cancel and bond offer. But when we received the cancel and bond offer from the purported lawyer for the seller, who's our main principal and licensee, the document didn't say that the offer was being made in the name of the entity, but rather just that the lawyer represented the individual. So this is a mess.
You want it back?
Yes, it needs to come back to us. We're probably going to have to take the case off the hearing calendar. We rushed this for the board to consider because we thought that there was authority here for making this offer. Turns out there is none. Most troubling is the fact that the purchaser, notwithstanding the fact that he was served with pleadings showing that he was availing a license, has continued to operate the premises.
With liquor?
You know what? I'm at cancel and bond.
Well, I think that's what they're going to offer anyway.
But I think we're going to get a settlement from the actual licensee as soon as the paperwork is worked out.
But I'm with her. I'm not going to take any less.
I don't think that I need to wait. I'm going to cancel.
No, you can't. It's a CNC. No, it's a
People who own the
CNC.
license, I can't.
Please, can I say something? We do not have an offer to settle this case from somebody with authority. So there is no offer that can be accepted.
All right.
It has to come back to us. We will hopefully address this and take care of it by the next meeting.
Okay.
And hopefully.
Well, what we're saying is it's probably cancel and bond for us.
I agree that would, well, it's not my vote, but I think that the existing licensee, as soon as he's corralled with the proper attorney, with the proper paperwork of representation, will offer cancel and bond. That's the latest information I know.
They've been around for too long for that to not be in place. I'm just, you know this, right? I mean, how do they not have proper representation? Come on.
You need to ask that.
There is some uncertainties in the way this transaction went down.
I believe that's true. All right, so we're going to send it back to council.
If the prosecutor can just confirm with the ALJ, because in compliance, it's no longer on the hearing calendar, but there was still a hearing.
I don't think we want it on the hearing calendar, but we will address it.
Yeah.
All right, call up Mr. Palillo.
Commissioner Ford here.
Yes. Yep.
I can't wait to hear what court he was in.
So,
landlord tenant?
in New York City office, we have 2808, 2809.
Small claims?
And 2812, William Lounge Inc.
What court were you in, Mr. Palillo?
Small claims Bronx, Mr. Chairman.
Wow. Oh, so you were closer than I thought. I thought you were coming all the way from
I'm
Foley
just kidding,
Square.
sir. I'm just kidding, sir. I was in New York County Criminal Court.
Oh, so you weren't fully square.
Yes, I was.
Oh.
And you know, I mean, you guys are away from doing what I do, but you're at the whims of a judge.
I know.
And you just sit there watching the clock go. And
Yeah.
I do apologize for my
You're
language.
at our whims too right now, so.
Go ahead.
What do you want to
This
say
is-
here? This is a
this is
bowling
a-
alley turned club.
Turn bowling alley again. I was already warned. Everybody get the heads up. Commissioner Fan is very short-tempered today. So well,
It's already made the news, huh?
I would get the alert on my phone. So
Oh, Jesus, is that what happened?
watch
Yeah,
Fan
no
today.
idea.
Are you serious?
Not about,
Watch Fan.
about all of it.
My understanding is these premises, yes, they did indeed convert it to a club. It was a bowling alley. It wasn't doing well. We have since returned it to what it was. I think there's an offer in for $15,000. I'm asking if we could do a little better than that. I think this is a good record prior to these incidents.
These incidents that span 18 months?
No, but he's got a point. They were opened in 2001. What happened?
It was a bowling alley, and there's certain lack of popularity, so there was an attempt to, put some more business into place. We've since removed everything. The principal, he did put up a temporary platform that went over 3 lanes. It was completely temporary. It's been all removed, and we've straightened out all the problems. And if you recognize, it's been, I think, a year this weekend since we've had any violations. It's a new security team in place, and they're doing their job. We've had
All
no
right.
issues in a year.
I'll accept.
I'll go to 10,000.
Oh, see? Now she feels bad because you said she was mean.
No, it's because she showed up.
Yeah.
It's because he
Yeah, but-
actually
yeah, but-
made it.
But Commissioner Ford cut me off at the knees, so
No, I'll go to 10 as well.
All right, so you're
thank
gonna
you for your
make me look,
consideration.
you're gonna make me
I'll
look
see you.
bad if I don't go along with it, so.
You're such a mean person.
So, all right, I'm gonna go to 10,000 too.
Thank you for your consideration. I'm sorry I was late.
All right, Jonathan, that should be it. Thank you.
Are we out?